Hey there, my name is Sean Flynn, the host of the Silicon Valley podcast, where I interview leaders in tech, entrepreneurs, venture capitalists here in Silicon Valley and share their stories with the world. So, about a week ago, I did a little YouTube video, and like and subscribe and all that jazz that everyone always says in videos, where the company had said, listen, Sean, we got $1 million deal, and we're not sure how much to pay in referral fees. And when we talked about it, I broke it down in the video, and it turned out it may not be that good of a deal because cost of goods sold was $850,000, so there's $150,000 left, but they didn't have any other expenses calculated in. So since then, I guess the deal didn't go through. But on a positive thing, they came back to me and said, okay, Sean, we got another deal in the pipeline here. Can we go over it? I said, okay, let's brainstorm. Let's have a conversation. So this new deal, $200,000 is what the buyer is going to pay. The cost of goods sold is $100,000. Their margin is $100,000 here. All right, so let's go over all their expenses. So we sat down, and all I said was, okay, tell me what your expenses are. And they said, well, we're not really sure what to budget for. I'm like, well, let's go back to what we talked about before. First thing was referrals. Who made the introductions, the agents, what are they expected? Okay, came back, 5% here, 5% there. Great. Now we're left with 80,000. Got to break that down more. Okay, so what are you planning on doing the next few months? How long into your next deal? Okay, it'll probably take us 2 to 3 months, maybe worst case scenario for the next deal. Okay, how much does your team need to live on? Well, maybe each of us $5,000, and there's 3 of us. Okay, so 3 months, $5,000, 15 grand a person, 45 grand allocated. All right, now we're at what? We're at 65 grand already? Ugh. Okay, what are we gonna do with the rest of it? How much are you gonna allocate to marketing? How much for business development? How much for miscellaneous stuff like insurance and things that a company needs? And they went, oh my God, we didn't even think about that. It's like, okay, so let's just brainstorm now. So for marketing, what are you gonna do? Well, we'd like to hire someone maybe part-time, maybe overseas, the Philippines or that, to save money, or a college intern or that will part-time allocate some money also to push the content. So let's say 2 to 3 grand. I was like, okay, good. Is that per month or total? They're like, oh, we're thinking total, but maybe 2 grand a month. So that's 6. Okay. Do you need a bookkeeper, or are you doing everything on your own? They were doing everything on their own. Great. How about legal? Should anything be allocated for a lawyer right now? They've already paid for everything, it turned out, for their entity and their documents, so that's already been done. Okay, but they said let's put 2 grand to the side anyway for service providers in the future, just in case we need someone to talk to. Great. So now there's a little bit left, not too much. And we just started brainstorming, what do you think good uses of those funds would be? Well, they want to keep some money on the side for a rainy day, miscellaneous. They're also thinking, there's a couple of organizations they would like to become members. Some of them were a few $100s per year membership because they really think they can get potential clients from these groups. They've already done their research. They know that the target, the people they want to contact with are in these groups, so they think it'd be a good use of funds. Because I kept asking them, what do you think your return's going to be? What do why this over this? I mean, I was just playing the devil advocate. I don't know the area, I don't know the sector, I don't know their market. All I know is to say why enough times and have them come up with their own solutions, their own answers. And I'm not a business coach. I'm just going to say that's kind of the secret that I've seen a lot of business coaches do, is they just keep asking why, how come, why this, why that. And eventually the people come up with their own answers to the problems. So the expenses. They also were thinking maybe we should allocate a little bit of money for a desk in an incubator or a shared office space. Yes, everyone right now is working from home, but in the future they might want to meet in an office when things calm down. Let's just take some money now and allocate it for that. And we came up with this huge list of things, and guess what happened? We're actually over 7 grand. So, negative 7,000 at the very bottom. So then we went back and we said, okay, let's look at this again. Do we need to allocate this much here? Can we allocate a little less here? Which of these is more important right now? And then we rearranged all the numbers. Basically, we had $5,000 for emergencies that might happen in the next little while. Everything else was allocated, so everyone had some money to live off. They had some money for marketing, they had some money for business development, they had some money to grow the business, they had the money needed to pay the referrals for the agents and the people that made the connections. They had everything. All their expenses were laid out. Whereas before, they didn't know any of this stuff, and now it's in their plan, their business model moving forward. Now here's the next thing. They took it one step further, and I think I'm actually going to do another video on this because I want to keep these videos short, and I'll actually leave this as a cliffhanger. So in Tim Allison's interview on my podcast, and that interview is going to come out in September of 2020, so a few months from now, he talked about the importance of breaking down line items for a company. And a lot of startups, a lot of small businesses, they clump everything together and they don't know what the margins for each item is. And when you know those line items, when you know the margin for this product or that product, you can really analyze the deal, analyze which is better to move forward on, which is better to allocate resources to. So, question for you. Do you think this company, they had 50 items that they're trying to push? Do you think they then went, okay, let's go item by item, or let's just forget it? I'll do a follow-up video and talk to you more about that. But for now, let's leave it right there. This company is doing amazing. You got to be proud of them for before not knowing anything about expenses and line items, thinking that it was just revenue, cost of goods, profit, to now knowing revenue, cost of goods, expenses, and then you got net income, then later taxes, all that stuff to net profit, and they figured it out. So with that, if you want to hear more stories about companies here in Silicon Valley, entrepreneurs, investors, leaders in tech, check out my podcast, Silicon Valley Podcast. The links will be in the show notes. So hit like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you soon with another great video. All right, cheers.